friends. Welcome back to
Wish You Love Podcast.
I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Marilyn.
And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Wish You Love Pod.
So we're going to open up this episode with our song of the month. So if you have a song that you have on repeat right now, please comment it down below. We would love to be put on to your song because we're always open to listening to new music.
Yeah. You want me to start?
Yeah. What's your song?
Okay. So originally I was going to share, again, Sabrina Carpenter. If you guys know, I've been highlighting her every single month, but it's true. This is literally all I play, and I really, really love her. But I will give a shout out or spotlight to another artist. Since I've gotten back from Kentucky, I've been listening to Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow is a rapper who's born and raised in Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
And so he takes a lot of pride of Kentucky and where he's from. In fact, his last tour, it was called No Place Like Home.
Aww.
And it was only in Kentucky.
Wow. So that's so nice.
Every stop was a big city from his state. And so after I had the opportunity to go to Kentucky and really feel for the state and the culture there, I loved it. I fell in love with what it is out there, beautiful. And what they have and how people are. And so I really was dang, I already liked you as an artist, but now I like you as a person because I respect your state and your love for it. And so Jack Harlow has been, I guess, someone I can spotlight and say that I've been listening to.
So what's the song though? What's the song?
Basically any of his songs he talks about Kentucky. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's always little I know one of the things he always says is being a bluegrass girl.
Okay.
One of his lyrics is bluegrass girl, but she got big dreams. And I was always what does that mean? And then when I went to Kentucky, you see it everywhere. Everywhere
wow.
It says it's a bluegrass state.
Oh, bluegrass.
Meaning, I guess the grass grows so high that when you drive, it looks blue.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm wow,
pretty cool.
So cute. Yeah. So even I posted something on my Instagram and I put the instrumental in the back of his music.
Nice. So, okay. Very nice.
So that's mine. What about yours?
Yeah, if you definitely want to post those fall pictures, because on our she had such cute pictures from Kentucky. It really felt like fall over there from just looking at the pictures. So very lovely. Nice.
I had a pumpkin spice and it truly
just felt like fall.
Right. I was this is
that's
what
nice.
It feels like to have a pumpkin spice.
I love it.
Yeah. What about yours?
Okay, so my song, it's one song, but I have two different versions. Okay, so it's called Gratitude by Brandon Lake. So I will put it down below. But you know how last episode I was telling you guys that my new in is Christian reggae music. And so I will also put the reggae version down below as well by Christofari, the band that I was telling y'all about. But oh my gosh, this song, I just feel it with my bones. I can listen to the song on repeat. And it's literally about, I have nothing to give the Lord. All I have is my gratitude. That's it. Because there's nothing that is good enough for him. There's nothing that, all I can do is thank you. So it's just a really nice song. And it is so true. And it's about just praising him and singing your heart out. And it's just such a good song. And when I went to church and for the first time hearing Christian reggae music, when I didn't recognize the intro, to the song, but then when she sang the first lyrics, I was like, oh my gosh, literally the night prior, I was singing that song on repeat and it was probably the best service of my life. I just closed my eyes and sang my heart out and it was just a personal relationship between me and God. And that song will forever tie me to that moment. And it's just so, so, so beautiful. So I have it down below in case you guys want to take a listen.
I love that all your music lately has been Christian music.
Yeah, that's true.
Beautiful and also makes me think, I don't know if you're reflecting on it, how your music has changed.
I know it's always been there, but I guess whatever I'm going through, that's what I put on repeat. Like if I feel like I need God more in my life, I will listen to his music more.
Yeah.
But if I feel like I want more, like I need to be more fun, like I need to have more happiness, maybe I might listen to gangster rap. If I want to be more sentimental, maybe I'll listen to Disney, or like it's just really depending on what's going on in my life. But I've always listened to Christian music. It's just, I guess I've just been playing it a little bit more now.
Yeah, but I love that.
Yeah.
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 That's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Alrighty, friends. Well, Marilyn's going to kick us off today for today's episode. She's going to share a message that she listened to today, actually.
Yeah.
And that it really impacted her, that she was like, I want to make a video about it. So I was like, let's do it.
It was literally just like a snippet by Les Brown of just something he was talking about. And so it kind of influenced me to want to talk about insecurity.
Let's jump to it.
Okay. So, you know, Jazmine has been very vulnerable on this podcast about like her insecurities and like what she deals with on a daily basis in her life. And so what I had learned from listening to Les Brown, he was talking about how we all have insecurities and how it holds us back from living our best lives. And oftentimes you'll find what you value the most in a person is rooted in your insecurities, because it's what you think you lack, what you think, asterisk, you lack, not what you lack, what you think you lack. So I will give different examples of different types of insecurities one might have and how that affects a person and how we can try to change that insecurity into a strength. But it takes time, obviously. Insecurities are deeply rooted, and it takes a lot of time to change the channel and change the narrative about yourself. But, you know, oftentimes when people say, oh, you're insecure, it's a very negative thing. And everybody is insecure about something. And that is important to acknowledge. What am I insecure about? So oftentimes when people talk about insecurities, it's about like what Jazmine deals with, which is like body dysmorphia or feeling like you're ugly because, you know, you're literally fat shaming yourself. You're fat phobic. Like I'm ugly because I'm heavier or whatever. But that's what people normally think insecurity of. But insecurity could be like about not feeling important, like maybe having a power trip, or like feeling like you're unworthy, or feeling like whatever. There could be so many. But I started to think, what is my insecurity? Like, what do I hold value, and what do I feel like I'm very hard on myself and self-critical about? And it definitely is my works, like what I can bring to the table, what I can do, my talents, my like what I can do. So for example, for singing, it's something I love to do. But I will say at times I feel insecure about my voice, even though, like, for example, my best friend Renee would say, oh my goodness, you're nuts. Every time she hears me sing, she cries. And I know that I sing. See, it's even hard for me to say it. I know that I sing beautifully, but when I record myself, I'm like, no, not good enough, not good enough. Ooh, not too pitchy, or ooh, I want to sound deeper here. Ooh, like I'm just so critical of myself, and it roots from insecurity of feeling not good enough, or like that I'm not talented enough, or you know what I'm saying? Like I've just noticed that I've been very insecure about my works. Same with teaching. Like I will know the answer to something and I will question myself because I'm insecure of my knowledge of what I know, what I can do and what I know. Like I know I can sing that song. Do it. I know I can answer that question. Answer confidently. Don't be insecure about your works. And why am I insecure about my works? It's because I think my value relies in what I can do for others, and that is not my value. I think my value relies in like how beautifully I can sing for someone, for them to feel comfort, for them to feel entertained, for them to feel happy. I feel comfort in how how well I can teach somebody. I have to be a perfect professor. I have to teach this lesson eloquently. Like I have to say it, like, you know what I mean? It's just an insecurity rooted thing because I feel that my importance, my worth relies in what I do for others. And it's not true. Your worth relies within yourself. We are all worthy. We are all worthy of believing we are beautiful, of believing that we are smart, believing that we are talented in what we're passionate about. And so it's really a matter of switching the narrative of any time that I question myself of like, oh, I didn't sound like you. Sometimes I will sing and they're like, oh my gosh, it was so nice. And I'm like, I messed up on this. It's like already, instead of just being confident and loving that I just did it, I'm already being insecure about how I sounded. And the same goes for teaching. Like, oh, thank you, professor. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, oh, you're welcome. In my head, I'm like, damn, like I should have taught that better. Or like I should have, it's just an insecurity. And so I wanted to talk about that of just switching the narrative in your head and analyzing what are you insecure about in your life? Why are you insecure about it? And how can I change that? So for me, I feel like it's remembering that my worth is not relied in what I do or what I bring to the table or how I make somebody feel. My worth is that I am Marilyn and that's it. I'm worthy just being myself. That's enough.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for bringing this message. I was really just like trying to absorb everything that you were sharing. Yeah. So I think like if you look back at the video, I'm just like staring. I'm like at one point playing with the mic because I was like really just like listening. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is a really good message to share with everyone. I think also because the holidays are such a beautiful time, but I think oftentimes insecurities come out during the holidays too because you're surrounded by family and people.
Oh, like other people.
Yes. And it's always, I've known this multiple times. It's always like, right, if you're insecure about your weight, this is the time where we
take pictures,
eat and take photos. If you're insecure about what you're doing in life, this is the time where families talk about it. Yeah. So, you know, I think this comes at a good time to kind of share as next week will be Thanksgiving and it'll be kind of the first time, you know, maybe you won't see that cousin or that aunt that you haven't seen in a while and like topics will be brought up, pictures will be taken, food will be eaten. And so a lot of sensitive things that can bring out those insecurities. So I think this is good for us to maybe reflect on and kind of like what you said, jot them down, get an understanding of the deep root of it, and maybe try your best to remind yourself so that if you feel any of these insecurities pop up, you can kind of like remind yourself and like be ready. But no, I think this is like a very, very well said, very good week and topic to talk about. Yeah. And I think also just good to journal about and reflect about. I don't know. I don't really have much to say in terms of my insecurity. I feel like it's been pretty out there, so it's not really necessary for me to repeat as to what I go through. I think more so it's just a matter of maybe continuing to like reflect and like do better of like healing myself with it and doing that. And I think also in my personal insecurity and sense, tying it back to 2 weeks ago, our episode of love thy neighbor as you love yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And how I mentioned I need to work on loving myself more. Right. And again, it all kind of roots back to like different topics and different areas where I just need to work on that and be better and try to find solutions and do my research and do my part to heal that part of me. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and definitely remembering that your worth doesn't rely on how you look, especially as women. A lot of times women's worth feels like it's reliant on how beautiful we are, but beauty definitely fades. Like we won't always look how we look now, just how we don't now look how we looked as teenagers. Mm-hmm. And it's important to remember like my worth does not rely in my body. My body is a vessel. It isn't me. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's just something that's holding my soul. What's most important if you want to work on something is who you are as a person. And of course, we can always get better at our insecurities. Like, for example, workout, obviously. You can like practice singing and crap like that. But then at the same time,
Botox.
I guess, yeah.
People do that. Yeah.
people do.
Easy fixes, right?
But if you don't work on it internally, even when you're at your skinniest, you will always feel fat. You know?
Yeah. I always think about that.
Yeah.
I always think about that. I'm like, Jazmine,
Yeah.
I'll go to the gym. I think I mentioned this before. I'm going through health situation, so I haven't seen the results, but I always think like when I see the results, would I still be happy though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's insecurity. It's not how you look. It's not like, I'm sure some people would kill to look like you.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
Healing from inside. Yeah.
It's healing from inside and just reminding yourself again, like when you look in the mirror or when you stand to take a picture, you're like, the worth of this picture isn't how I look. It's the memory of the moment type of thing. But also remembering too that, because thank you for mentioning Thanksgiving is next week. If you do feel uncomfortable talking about certain things, or if you feel uncomfortable taking pictures with certain people, it's okay to put up that boundary of like, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable taking pictures, or I'm sorry, I don't really want to talk about this right now. I just want to enjoy my food. Like, it's okay to put those boundaries up. And although some people may take offense or they might be like thrown off or feel bad or what have you not, but it's okay to put up those boundaries, because in the end of the day, it's a holiday and you're supposed to enjoy yourself. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're miserable because you're like, you feel like, oh, I'm not doing anything with my life. That's all everybody's talking about. Like, no, you have something to bring to the table. Like, what did you do last weekend? Oh my gosh, I had such a fun time with my friends. You know what I mean? Like, there's always something you can talk about at the dinner table. It doesn't have to be like your goals or like what you're doing or like, oh yeah, I lost 10 pounds. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, can we just talk about just like dumb stuff? Like, oh my gosh, you remember last Thanksgiving, like, we burnt the turkey or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And I feel like I have said, I'm not insecure about my weight, but I will say as a woman, it is difficult not to be hard on yourself. Like when you look at your little pancita, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so fat. Like, but it's literally just like a little pouch or something like that. Like I will say, I'm like, yeah, I look at my pouch like every day in the mirror. That is body checking. Like there are roots in, because of society, because of different experiences, that you will always, as women, we always look at our body, but you can't let it debilitate yourself from living your best life, you know?
Yeah.
And realizing that like how people view you isn't how your biggest insecurity views you, type of thing. Like, for example, like how you view yourself, like we were talking off camera. I was like, I would have never thought that. Like, it's literally just in your head. Same with singing. Like, somebody might be like, oh my gosh, that was so good. And I'm like over here being insecure and thinking the worst of myself. And like, nobody is thinking that. That is you being insecure about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like that one episode where we even posted it on Instagram where we asked people like how they view us. And we were like,
yeah.
like, I didn't know that. You know,
I mean, nobody said big back.
Right.
How we messed up.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But there are some people that are also, they will say like, oh my gosh, did you gain weight? Like there are some mean people like that. And remember, my love, that is projection. Because if you can see like horrible stuff in other people, and horrible as in like negative, if you can see negative in other people, it's probably because you're thinking that of yourself.
Yeah. Amen to that. I'm staring at 5'9".
I know.
No, really good. Really good topic. Thank you for bringing this, Marilyn, to the table today. I hope you guys take some time to reflect and get ready for the holiday. Yeah. So thank you for tuning in. Anything else you want to?
I just want to say, I hope you guys are doing great.
All right. It's a little random, but I love that. You're wishing love.
I really don't know what overcame me right now.
Yeah.
Like I was like, in my head, I'm like, no. I'm like, I just want to say.
Okay. Well, she wishes you great.
I'm surviving on an apple right now, and it's like 4:00. So.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed today's message. If you have any conversations or topics or any ideas that you'd like us to talk about in the next upcoming episodes, please make sure to fill out the Google form. We have that linked on our Instagram. We'd love to bring conversations that you might want to hear about, or topics, I should say. So,
and also if you're listening to us like on your, Apple CarPlay, like in your car or on your phone, like screenshot it when you listen and tag us and post it to your story. We would love to see who's listening and when you're listening, where you're listening, maybe at the gym. I don't know. We would love to see it.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So definitely tag us, submit those questions, and hope you tune in next week for our Thanksgiving episode.
Yay!
And above all else,
We wish you love.
Bye, friends.